Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Horizen Weekly Insider number 84. Today is April 19, 2021. Thanks for joining us live here on Discord and YouTube. Please be aware that this call will be recorded and is also going to be available for you to check out later in our Horizen podcast. Also, please remember to ask your questions on Menti so we can answer them all at the end. So before we start, I'd like to give you a quick reminder on the upgrade to our new software, Send 2.0.23, which is for our partners and exchanges to please upgrade. The current grant will deprecate at block 920,000 this next Thursday, 22. So let's kick it off with the upgrades, with the updates from the engineering department. Alberto, please, welcome.
Hi, thank you, Angie. Okay, let's start as usual from Zendu, where we are moving on with multiple tasks. And in particular, last week, we finished performing the first level of code review for both forward transfer minimum amount and the main chain backward transfer without the need of proving as null-proof. So these tasks are now ready for the final code review. And in parallel, we have also kept working on the proof verifier integration. And in particular, the changes related to the mempool processing and the changes related to the miner processing. So I mentioned this last week. We are performing the verification of the snark proofs in a parallel thread for the mempool to not lock the mempool, let's say, accepting other transaction, meanwhile verifying and batching the snark proofs. So these developments were finished and the first level of code review was performed. Very few changes were requested and they have been already addressed. So also here, ready for final code review stage. Last but not least, we kept working on another couple of things, and in particular, adding all the data necessary to validate a certificate, CSH and withdrawal, to be able to ban nodes that are sending such kind of messages, but with proofs that are not verifying. And the other thing is the development of CSH and withdrawal for forward transfers that happened after the last validate proc. So these developments were finished, and again, the first code review was performed. We're finishing to apply the related changes, and we plan to finish during this week. Okay, now let's switch to the proving system, where we were able to continue with several final code reviews. And in particular, in the last few days, we were able to approve a total of 5 pull requests. And we plan to continue also with other final code reviews in the following days. In parallel, we also kept working on the proof verifier related activities that are still ongoing. Regarding the SDK, we are currently working on some improvements, and so far we have been working on a total of 12 different enhancements and fixes. We plan to finish all of these by tomorrow, so we're almost at the end, and after which we will open the pull request and proceed with the code review process as usual. Currently, on the SDK side, we have no other pull request pending with regards to the next delivery. Okay, last topic is related to the ZK Proof event. I'm happy to mention that we're a sponsor at the Zero Knowledge Proof event, which is starting today, and which gives a huge contribution to improve zero knowledge technology more and more and making its wide adoption possible. And within the event, we are also one of the few companies that have been selected to have the opportunity of meeting candidates active in the zero knowledge space. So that's probably all for today. Thanks, and back to you, Angie.
Thank you, Alberto. Let's continue with Alan to give us some of the node updates.
Hi, everybody. Just going to do a quick update here on the tracking system. We've got 90% of the super nodes updated to the new version of Zen. And for the secure nodes, we're at about 83%. So there's still a few stragglers out there. And what we've been busy on is prepping the single address staking for the secure node system. We've got the servers updated for that, and we are working on the documentation for it and testing it this week, and we are targeting end of this week, potentially, to roll that out and announce it. Back to you, Angie.
Thank you, Alan. Next, we have Jonathan with the growth updates.
Hey, everybody. Happy Monday. So for the growth side, we saw a record day, meaning in the history of the Community Hub, we saw the most new users in a single day than we ever have on April 17th. And it just completely crushed all of the prior records that we've had, which is really exciting. A lot of that is coming from this continued trend of traffic from South Korea, which is really interesting. I mentioned that we were seeing 4x growth in South Korea about a week ago, and now it's doubled even on top of that. So something really interesting is going on in South Korea with Zen. So that's some pretty cool news. Aside from that, we've taken a bunch of surveys in terms of SDZen, and one of the trends we notice is that a big barrier to entry for people who want to purchase SDZen are the fees. So I'm really happy to announce that in collaboration with the marketing team, we'll be having a special offer for Zen community members where we will be paying for some of the fees for the purchases of STZen. So we hope that this will get people involved in the STZen movement. We're going to be releasing details this week on how to participate. But the basic summary is the first 100 people to hold STZen for 30 days will get up to $50 in fees reimbursed. Again, Lucy will probably talk a little bit more about it, and we'll have a very detailed blog post on how to participate and what steps to take to prove ownership of the address and all of that good stuff. But either way, we hear the concerns of the community, and we're taking steps to fix it. So that's it for me. Back to you, Angie.
Thank you, Jonathan. Let's continue with Vano for the BD updates.
Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. So today we have two good news. First is that L-Bank Exchange announced today that Zen will be listed on their exchange. And founded in October 2016, I think, L-Bank is a top 100 exchange by CoinMarketCap's ranking. It's a centralized exchange, digital asset trading platform geared for international users, but it is mostly popular in China. Deposits will be open from April 21st. Trading starts the day after, April 22nd, and withdrawals open on April 23rd. I'm posting links to official announcement here in our channel as well. And also another good news is that we have Via BTC released the updated version of their Via Wallet software for iOS devices at the end of last week. So Zen is now supported on both Android and iOS versions of Via Wallet. That's all from me, and I pass it to Kaspers now.
Thanks, Vano. Hi, everybody. Great news on the sidechain partnerships front. We pretty much finalized agreement with the top 50 project I mentioned on our last week's call, and we will also be partnering with an algorithmic stablecoin project, name of which I cannot disclose just yet. On the staked Zen front, so we have been in talks with SushiSwap, see how we're doing, and in a couple of weeks we are hoping they will give more allocation points for our STZen STETH pair, which would essentially mean more sushi rewards because our pair has been doing quite well since the launch. And in addition, we found out that SushiSwap will be enabling enabling double rewards for their on-Zen menu pairs, meaning that it might be possible to incentivize liquidity providers with other tokens than sushi as well. So we're looking into this. Lastly, we are continuing exploring adding STZen to lending protocols and yield farms, and I know our community members want to see this, but really we just feel we want to get a little bit more liquidity and drive more volume for the token before we see listings there. That's really it from me today. Thank you, and back to you, Angie.
Thank you, guys. Next, we have Lucy with the marketing updates.
Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. So we sent out a community survey last week and asked people what they think of STZen. So the result shows the biggest complaint people have is the high fees involved in getting STZen. So that is why we are doing this gas fee reimbursement promotion Jonathan has just mentioned. So we really hope this can make STZen more accessible and provide an easier way, into DeFi for some people. And then we will publish more details and do more promotions beginning, starting from tomorrow. But this call will be a perfect chance for people to get in early. So really excited to see how that will turn out, and then see more people will get involved and participate using STZen. So besides the new gas fee reimbursement promotion, I also wanted to remind everyone that the $2,500 giveaway is still ongoing, and then the last day to enter is May 8th. And you only need to hold 10 STZen to enter the giveaway to win, $100 if you win, and then that will cover your gas fee and more. And then also the recently launched new STZen HODL bonus on STZen Faucet. So there are multiple promotions happening at the same time. Okay, meaning multiple different ways for people to get rewarded to participate in the DeFi space using STZen. So you can choose one that works best for you. And then the other exciting news is that the marketing team is hiring. So we have multiple positions, and then we'll be we'll announce and publish them very soon. So keep an eye for the updates, and then we will share the positions on social media. And I'm just really happy also to see the recent community growth Jonathan just mentioned. Especially the new growth surge from South Korea. So this is really exciting. And I highly suspect that the growth has something to do with the Zen evangelists in South Korea, and then all the work they have been doing to grow the Horizen community in South Korea. I have personally worked with some of them directly and witnessed all the amazing work that they've been doing. They established a dedicated community group on the most popular Korean social media app, and all the community activity is just super, super active, and everyone's really excited about Horizen. And also recently, our Horizen Korean Twitter has been just reactivated as well. And then it's run by a community, by a group of community members. So just really to see that the community growth, and then also the participation and engagement that we receive from our community, organically. So it just shows the growth of this project relies on all of the communities from the globe. Through the new ambassador program, I think, we will have more help. And then with that, I believe Erica has some exciting news to share about the ambassador program. Erica, the floor is yours.
Hey, everyone. So yes, I'm super excited to say that we're making a ton of progress and are coming close to an official release of our new Zen Evangelist program. This past week, we focused on the daily task portion of the ambassador program. We had a pretty successful soft launch on the daily task channel on our Discord. If you guys haven't checked it out, feel free to do so. We have new daily tasks every day that pay out Zen for the completion of these tasks. This last week, we had 6 task completions, and people gave us feedback on what they thought needed to be updated or what didn't quite work out right. There were a few rough edges that we've already smoothed out. So check out the process and let me know what you think. We'll have a new task coming out soon, shortly after the call. I am also very excited to welcome a few new members to our program, Jong-hoon and Ken, who are running our Korean Twitter. We're so excited to have you. Thank you all so much for contributing to the project. And also Siddhartha Zero. People may know him as AGN Fab. He is now going by Siddhartha Zero and working on some really great Horizen art to add to the store. So really excited about that. This week, we are focusing on preparing for the upcoming official release of the program. So be sure to look out for the official announcement coming out soon and new additions to our channels. So thanks, everyone. Have a great week.
Thank you, Erica. Awesome updates. Really excited about everything. And on that note, we're actually running a 15% off in store. And then if you like the all the artwork, and then you can get them from our store, and we're adding more as well. That's it. Back to you, Angie.
Great updates, girls. Awesome. Let's continue now with Rosario for Product and Engineering.
Hey, Angie, and happy Monday, everyone. So as development is approaching completion, we're also looking at tasks that are complementary, like a test fund for community to participate in testing. And of course, following our Zen improvement protocol process. So Zen-Do will be our first major upgrade to the Horizen ecosystem, and thus we will submit a formal Zen app. And there's a lot of discussion that's been happening over the last 2 years, especially early on when the concept of Zen-Do was born. But this Zen app process will kick us off into a different level, or more to say that Zen-Do will kick us off into a different level. Thus, Zen app is both necessary and a symbolic way of introducing this major change into our protocol. I'm also happy to announce that we finalized the procurement process for one of our audit companies that will audit Zen-Do. There will be a second company that audits the cryptographic elements of Zen-Do, so I'll wait until both companies are under contract to announce the names of these 2 vendors. From a communication perspective, I've also continued working with our tech team and PR and bringing them together to refine the messaging of Zen-Do, because this is also something that we have to prepare months in advance before the launch of Zen-Do in our third quarter. From a Horizen Labs perspective, we are hiring as well. And I'll be posting a link to the job post, but we are looking at hiring a technical product manager and various software engineers in the New York City area. So next, in about 2 weeks, I think Rob gave a little bit of a heads up. We have a key hire for the product technical team. So in May, you will be meeting him. So very happy about this. From so audit chain development is mostly complete. There will be some items that remain along the way, like the cryptographic elements, and there's one SDK change that's required before the completion of the project. But this week we will provide Celsius with a way to automatically deploy the sidechain and the node. So very important. And then we'll go through a testing cycle with Celsius, and then the next step will be to have a marketing page or a homepage that describes our product, and the second phase will be having inputs of our sidechain on their page. So more to come on that. From a game chain perspective, we are making great progress on the sidechain itself and the Explorer. So I announced last week that the Explorer is complete, and the game developer actually had an additional requirement that we may consider to make the game chain more applicable to what's going on with NFTs. So it's something that we want to definitely review and have that incorporated if it's something that's going to make the launch of game chain more successful. And that is it for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Rosario. Rolf, would you like to add any comments or updates today?
Yeah, thanks, Angie. I want to give you all an update on what I'm doing. I'm still very involved with Horizen and 100% involved in cryptocurrency. And obviously, I was very involved with Horizen after we first launched. And I'm less involved in day-to-day activity now and still a very large part of the team, or part of the team. And with Horizen, I'm an executive advisor and on the board of ZBF, which means that anyone on the team that wants to talk about something where my business and small company experience or sales or growth can help, I'm always happy to talk to anyone on the team. So I just wanted to, put that out there and make that clear. And I really enjoy being involved with Horizen at this level, so it works well for me. And then outside of working with Horizen, I'm still doing Bitcoin and crypto mining, including Zen, of course. And I'm building 2 mining containers as an expansion. We're hoping to get those up and running this month. And I'm operating Horizen nodes for myself and my friends with my own servers in a local data center. And I'm learning how to develop sidechains. And I haven't really shared this with anybody, but it's a slow path for me because I'm doing this in a step-by-step way. The first step is I'm working on earning a master's in computer science focused on cybersecurity at Auburn University. Y'all that are software developers already know all this. This was new to me. I had to take a year of undergraduate classes in discrete logic and algorithms and learn to develop in Java just to be able to start the master's program. And I started that in January this year. And I'm finishing my first semester of courses, which is on advanced operating systems. So I had to learn how to program in C and advanced algorithms. And I had no idea that computer science involves so much in the way of algorithms. So it gives me a much higher level of respect for all the software developers that we have on the team. I'm sure most people have gone through that. And I'm getting familiar with academia, reading papers, attending presentations involving current research topics. And I expect to finish my master's in about 3 years. And after that, maybe I'll follow the path of Rob and see if I can get my doctorate. So anyway, just wanted to give you all a quick update. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Rolf. Now let's continue with Rob for the final part and Q&A session.
Rolf, good for you. The doctorate is painful. I don't know if I advise it. Anyway, that was cool to hear. Okay, on the updates that I have here, some of them are just, I'm going to run through what you've already heard. On some of them, just to reinforce where we're going. So Zendu Deliberate, first thing I always talk about every week now, because it is the most important thing. We need to get the software complete, and then we need to roll this right into third-party audits, and then we need to roll right into testing, right? So that's ongoing. I actually just signed the first audit contract. So we're ready to go with at least one of the auditors for a very big part of Zendu as soon as the code is ready, which should be very soon. Alberto mentioned the ZK Proofs Conference, and then also alluded to the ZK Jobs Fair this week and how we were chosen as one of a select group of organizations to participate in this. And this is a really prestigious event, and then very prestigious set of organizations to just be part of, to be able to actually, potentially onboard talent from this very select, limited pool of people that can actually touch this type of technology. So if nothing else, this is just a signal that, we talk about being on that innovation frontier all the time. Well, hey, we really are. And other people are recognizing that, especially for this particular subsector of the industry. It's just really cool to be part of that. Let's see. We are opening a bunch of job postings. I'm just reiterating here what Rosario and Lucy have mentioned. So on the Horizen Lab side, it's going to be product engineers in New York City to start. And and here we're looking, I can tell you now we're opening up a first round of opening positions, but we are looking to ultimately have something like 20 to 30 engineers in that particular center. So this is going to be a really big deal in terms of expanding our capacity as an ecosystem to be able to really bring in other players and from outside of the industry to work with developers to build tools to just make all of these products easier to use. And on that note, on the tool side, already this key hire that Rosario mentioned, who you'll meet in 2 weeks on this call, or at least roughly 2 weeks on this call. We are very much looking into tools, and we want to make sure that we enable and facilitate development in the ecosystem, not just do it all ourselves. And even like Horizen Labs is just a company, and Horizen Labs has limited capacity and bandwidth. We need to make sure that we are enablers and not just building everything in-house. Also, on the hiring front, Lucy mentioned new marketing roles that we're opening. So really exciting here because we get this all the time. We are growing so fast in terms of our ecosystem community, and we're doing so much with partnerships and different products that we're putting out there with other partners and clients. And we have such a limited bandwidth or capacity on the marketing side to really amplify these messages. So I'm really excited for these hires. These are going to be some really key people to turbocharge a lot of just the messaging and getting word out there of all the good things that we're doing. And in the marketing area, you heard talk about big growth of our community in South Korea. I wanted to highlight this because it's so exciting to see our community grow so fast globally. And when things take off, they really take off. We've had a community in South Korea for years, basically since we started. One of our first community members, Jung-hoon, also really big part of our current growth there, was with us in 2017. So it's not like Horizen Zen is new to South Korea. We've been listed on South Korean exchanges as well. But now you're just seeing like something change, like some critical mass was hit, and now things are just exploding there. So it's a really nice example of what's going to happen in many other places. And for the people in our Korean community listening to this, really appreciate this, love it. And I love that it's a community-driven activity. Like Lucy said, we have several Korean community members running social media and actually just diving headfirst into this community growth. And the work that Erica's doing with the ambassador program is really going to turbocharge all of this stuff and just replicate what works in some markets and try it out in others. Like we'll be able to replicate things, and that will have a lot of traction in some markets. And in other markets, we'll have to figure out unique ways of doing things. But at least now we're setting up the infrastructure and the programs to really get down to business. Also, I'll throw a little teaser out there. The growth that we're seeing in South Korea is amazing. We're also going to be significantly expanding our China community growth. So more to come on that. And I'm surprised Lucy didn't drop the hint, because she's obviously the person who's kind of big mastermind of this, and she's super excited for it. But we'll be making some announcements over the coming weeks of what we're doing in China. But obviously a tremendous market that we are extremely excited to continue to grow. The BD team, the business development team, continues to crush it, and we're moving forward with several really big partnerships, some that were alluded to here, and you're going to hear more details as we get the press releases out there. But just to let you know, the two big ones now that I know Casper's mentioned, I'll give you a little more context without revealing too many details, I hope. But we are partnering with one of the oldest and one of the biggest crypto projects out there to do something. It's more in the marketing domain. So we're going to use our technology, a side chain, and build a marketing related chain that helps turbocharge ecosystem growth within crypto. Obviously, specifically for this other project and for us, right? We're doing this in partnership using our stack because it lends itself very well to integrating business logic directly into a blockchain and then layering privacy tools around that so that people, as they're participating, their information is not revealed to the world and how they're exactly participating. So this is just really any use case that leverages privacy and grows these crypto ecosystems is a big win for us. So we're really excited for that project. And it's just a cool project. It was one of the first coins that I bought personally, and I'm happy all these years later to be able to partner with them. So that'll be fun news for the community. The other one, a really big one, and Casper just very quickly mentioned it, but the importance cannot be understated, is the algorithmic stablecoin partnership that we're going to be announcing. This is with a very successful stablecoin project that is fully decentralized, and this is key. And we're not saying that we necessarily have all of the answers to how you should do an algorithmic stablecoin. For us, it's more about experimentation and then bringing in partners who are already extremely successful and have products that are on the market that have been successful technically. And by this, with stablecoin, I mean technically that digital asset has remained a very strict peg around the dollar specifically. So having someone with that expertise come here and figure out how to map that smart contracting logic from Ethereum and Binance chain over to a Horizen sidechain and actually integrate that into the blockchain itself, it is just such a great opportunity for all of us here in the ecosystem to now have our first stablecoin product under development. So more news to come on that. Let's see. So I guess the last little teaser that I'll give is, Zen itself could be the major source of digital asset collateral that goes into this algorithmic stablecoin. So again, another really nice kind of organic demand for Zen in a useful product. Rosario mentioned the ZenIP, the Zen improvement proposal that we're going to be releasing. This is a symbolic ZenIP, guys. We've been talking about the ZenIP process for well over a year now. Now we're going to get to work and actually get the first one out there. Now, symbolic because we're 2 weeks or 3 weeks away from actually completing development on this project. So clearly, we're not just releasing this like we normally would with a new idea that we want to propose to the community. This is a symbolic ZenIP because we're almost done with development, but it's a super important development now because this is another major step towards better open source software governance. And now this is the major takeaway is we are constantly improving how we do business, just the sets of organizations that are part of this ecosystem. You see now more community growth, and now we're actually having community members and different organizations within the community just taking and running things. Like even a small example, like running the Korean Twitter, that's great. But now we need to really focus on how we do open source software and just how we have the governance there, and that's what ZenIP's all about. So this is a really important symbolic first ZenIP. Now, let's see. The last thing I'll leave you guys with, and this is my big strategy takeaway from today. You've heard a bunch of different things that we're doing. We're expanding in a number of areas, from hiring more developers, hiring more marketing capacity. We're kind of improving, maturing the way we do governance, bringing in different partners and players into our ecosystem. Now, I will say from a strategy perspective is we have been doing a really, I would say, focused job. Just the way we focused what we're doing is on protocol development and just building tools that now are going to very quickly become extremely useful with people in the real world. Now, as part of this, I want to find, and here I'm speaking from the Horizen Labs perspective, I want to find a large strategic partner on the distribution side of the business. And we have some ideas for the types of things that we're looking for, but as an industry in general, we often just think insularly of how are we going to grow organically, and let's produce more wallets, let's get people to join our community and so forth. But what I think would be great from a strategic perspective for the ecosystem and certainly for Horizen Labs is to have a very large, well-established company that has massive distribution in software in terms of products with massive communities and be their blockchain partner, and to be able to then bring them and their communities and ecosystem into ours. So that's something that I'll give you, just leave you with a little fragment of what's on my mind recently and where I really want us to go. No news at all on who this would be. We're still just kind of thinking what would be cool, and we'll go from there. So that's all I've got, guys. I can open it here to Q&A.
Awesome. I just have to say that there's so much FOMO today, Rob. I don't know how you guys do it, but anyways. I mean, I'm kind of nervous or something like that. I'm just like...
Thanks, Angie.
Anyways, okay. Thank you, everyone, for contributing with your questions. So the first one is the privacy features included... are the privacy features included in the first SDK version?
So No, not really. And Alberto can jump in after this. But really, the way that we're using Snarks is for security and just the cross-chain communication protocol. Now, if we were to do specific things for specific data objects that we want privacy for, there would be some customization or modifications to what we're doing. But clearly, this is where we're heading in terms of an overall value proposition. But Alberto, do you want to chime in with anything else?
For example, we're introducing the privacy feature for the Celsius sidechain, where we will, provide the proof of the funds received by Celsius, for example, on Bitcoin, without revealing the transaction behind these funds. So, we are providing the possibility to introduce privacy in the sidechain, but obviously you have to customize it for the specific use case. What we haven't currently have included specifically in the SDK is the possibility to shield coins inside the sidechain itself. This is something that we are going to work on later. But for a developer, will be possible to shield some data or hide some data using zero knowledge proofs, because we developed all the components that are useful for the functioning of the sidechain itself, and we provide the possibility to use such components also inside the sidechain for providing zero knowledge support for specific use cases.
Thank you. The second question is, do you see other big institutions or investors interested in Zen other than Grayscale or TCG, for example?
Absolutely, and I wish I could tell you exactly who, but yes, the answer is for sure. And now we've been on a bit of an education campaign to just make many of these people aware of who we are and what we're doing. Because one thing that we realized was there's so much going on in this industry that it's hard to get the attention of people sometimes. And for those that are joining this call, clearly you know what we're doing. You've been tracking this project for a while at a level of depth that just goes beyond most people, right? What we're seeing is the bandwidth for most people is, they heard of Zen, it's part of Zencash, and it's a fork of Zcash, right? And that's it. And they could think, oh, why would we get that? We've got Zcash in our portfolio. It's been an educational process for us to actually make people aware of what we're doing. And now we're seeing just honestly like a ton of traction. So the more people that we're talking to now, we're hearing from them anecdotally that they heard about Zen from other people in their network. So now word's getting out and more people are we're just getting a lot of traction. And I'm pretty sure I would say we've hit a critical mass where now things are just kind of exploding, where people are becoming more aware of us. So long story short is, yes, absolutely, there will be many other institutions that come into our ecosystem. And I would even say in the very near future.
Thank you, Rob. And the third and final question is, do you look for other partnerships outside the crypto sphere?
Absolutely. And that's what I was mentioning with my last little comment on strategically where I'm thinking is I now want to bring in people that are just extremely well established and have large distribution channels of their own. And by distribution channels, I mean, it could be something like they have 100 million customers for what they do, or it could be something like they are the enterprise software company in the world, or something like that is what I mean by strategy or distribution, so that we can bring in other people that they're looking for a trusted blockchain partner that really understands this technology. And rather than try to hire in-house and figure this stuff out. And by the way, all of these companies have already been looking at blockchain at varying degrees of success, because depending on the tools and the stacks they were looking at, many of these people are still trying to figure out what is their blockchain strategy. They know they need a blockchain strategy, and they have executives within in-house that are under a lot of pressure to come up with a blockchain strategy. So for many companies out there, they will be looking for strategic partners like Horizen Labs as an example, a blockchain software development company with deep expertise in something that maybe only a dozen companies in the world have, in particular on the zero knowledge side. So this is where we're going. How can we find a partner where we add significant value to them and they add significant value to us and can really turbocharge this ecosystem. So the answer is yes, absolutely. We are looking for partners outside of the industry so that we can actually make this industry go mainstream.
Awesome. Thank you, Rob. And thank you, everyone, for contributing with your questions. So I guess this is a wrap, and we'll see you all very, very soon. Thank you.